In this video we will learn how to design steel structure using Etabs. It is basically a preliminary structural design video, as we have so far completed the concrete design course using Etabs. So proceeding to the steel design. The finite element modeling is to be done using Etabs. It is a 4-story building. The first story height is 15 feet. Rest of the stories are 12 feet high. All the bays are 20 feet by 20 feet. A steel moment frame, and it is a composite floor system. No beam shall be deeper than 18 inches. The dead load is due to self weight plus 40 pounds per square feet of partition, etc., plus 300 pounds per feet on the perimeter beams only. Live load is 100 psf, reducible as it is equal to 100 psf or less than as per AISC code, so we can take it as reducible. Earthquake load as AISC 710 as default in Etabs. Just as a demonstration video, preliminary focused on design of steel structure. The wind load is following AISC 710 again at a speed of 100 miles per hour. The framing plan is shown. We will be designing the following framing plan using Etabs. Starting with the design part with Etabs. First of all, we start with the grids. The steps I will follow are basic steps which we have followed in the design of concrete structures as well. Starting with defining the grids in Etabs. The built-in library, section database, steel design code and concrete design code. Since our concern is steel design, so we will taking the steel design. Start with a blank, as we will define the grids in the later stage. So here we are with a blank window in Etabs. We will be defining the grids, added stories and grid systems. Starting with the Cartesian system, or we will prefer to display the grids as spacing, as we have 20 feet bays in x direction and in y direction. Let's call this as A, B, C, D. Similarly for y direction. We have defined the grids. I will modify the stories, as the first story height is of 15 feet, while rest of the stories are of 12 feet already defined. So okay, so we are done with defining the grids. Now the next step will be to define the materials. Since we are starting with the steel structure design, the material properties is of yield strength 50 ksi considered for steel. We may have selected the A36 steel, but since we are working with in USA, so the higher strength steel is available there. Next step will be to define the frame sections. We will be importing the frame sections for wide flange steel sections. The material property AISC annual and wide flange section shapes. Preferably the beam sizes which are part of the lateral force resisting system is to be W16 to W18, while the beam which will be secondary beams are also from this manual. So we will be selecting W8 to W10 and 12 for the secondary beams. Just it's a choice of designer that we don't wish to go for heavier sections. So I'll add these sections. Again, importing these sections from W14 to W18 for the beams which will be part of lateral force resisting system, while the beams we previously imported were part of gravity load resisting system, or also known as secondary beams. We'll start with W14 section and go on to W18. Okay. Similarly, we have also added for the column which is preferably having size of W14 to W18 size. Now we will define the auto select list for beam design. The auto select list will automatically select the cross section which is adequate to resist the beam, the load. Let's call this as lateral beam. That means that the beam is part of lateral force resisting system, not a secondary beam, or we can also say that primary beam. We will be selecting the sections of W14 to W18. Okay. Similarly, we'll be adding a new property of lateral beam auto select list. That is not a lateral beam, but it's a secondary beam. That is between W8 to, let's call it as not a heavier section we prefer for secondary beams. So just roughly adding these sections. Similarly, for the steel column, I'll add copy of this section. Let column means that the column is part of lateral force resisting system. So all these members will also be utilized for the design of the column. Now the next part is we go and define the steel deck section. The purpose of assigning steel deck section in Etabs is just to apply the load or consider the stiffness for load distribution and other things. The slab fill material and the other parameters, as you can see here, are defined in a diagrammatic manner over here. For the design of steel deck, you have to consider manuals such as Woolcraft. For example, for USA, the deck is defined here as 3 inches depth. So we'll go with OK. Now we'll again go to the grids option and edit the master story. We have taken here the master story as the top story, but I would like to make the master story as bottom story. So this story is similar to story 1, this as well, and this as well. It means that any change I will make in story 1 will automatically be changing the rest of the stories. For example, if I delete a beam in first story, that will automatically be deleted in the rest of the stories. Or I add a new column or draw any area object in a particular story, and if it's a master story, so it will change the rest of the elements in the rest stories. So though we will not be needing to use the replicate option anymore. So okay, now we'll draw everything in story 1. We'll go to story 1. Now we'll draw the lateral force resisting members first, which will be lateral force resisting beams and lateral force resisting columns. Starting with the columns. Lateral column. You can see here, since I did not turn on the option of similar stories, so it didn't add in rest of the stories. So I'll select and delete these columns. I'll redraw using the column options, and now this time I will be selecting the similar stories option. Since we are working in a master story, so it will all be copied into the stories which are following the master stories. So we have added the column in the stories. Now the next part will be adding the lateral force resisting beams. Or simply this beam option. Primary beam. Now there is another option that we can use to create secondary beams in a quicker manner using this option. So it will automatically be release the moment as spin, so it will not take these beams for the moment resisting frame, and the number of beams in each bay will be 3. We can also change this number to further, it depends upon our choice. So it's giving a preview of how it will be placing the beams. Now we'll be drawing the metal deck on the beams. We have to be sure that we are going clockwise and connecting the perimeter points. Since metal deck is a one-way distribution object or a slab type, so it shows this distribution option here. Now we will have to add the exterior cladding for the application of wind load. We'll draw here auto cladding. We will be using floor for this option and click on OK. So the auto cladding has been turned on. Now in order to make sure that this auto cladding does not have any stiffness or mass, it is only for the purpose of application of wind load to the structure. So we will go to any elevation and make sure of it. Select any auto cladding and right click. It's also showing a preview the area object which we selected. Now you will see the stiffness. There is no stiffness here or no area as well here. So we are okay with it to use for attraction of the wind load. We'll clear the selection and again go back to the master story level. Now the next part is to define the load patterns. We have to define the load patterns for super dead, the loads which are apart from the dead, add new load pattern, and for the corner loading we'll add that loading as cladding for the perimeter beams. Similarly for earthquake in X direction, since we are to use AISC 710 code, earthquake in Y direction in a similar manner, wind load in X direction. Actually I have to select wind here. Selecting the code for wind load as AISC 710, wind in X direction. Similarly wind in Y direction. I will be modifying the load patterns. The live load should have to be reducible live load as already discussed. Now further we will modify the seismic load since it is X direction, so we will remove the Y direction cases. The importance of eccentricity will be further considered and discussed in the rest of the videos, since this video is basic and just for the conceptual modeling of steel structure, so we stick to the basics. So the program calculated and these things parameters are all defined by AISC 710, so we'll let them in the default values, and in the exact manner we'll define the Y direction loading. For wind load, we'll click on exposure from frame and shell objects and include shell objects. Wind speed is to be modified as 100 mph, while rest of the parameters as it is. Similarly for wind Y direction, exposure from shell objects 100, rest objects as it is. So we are done with defining the load patterns. Now in the next step we will be applying the gravitational loads to the model. So select the steel deck, you will see rest all of the steel decks are selected. Now go to assign shell loads uniform. The dead load self load is automatically calculated by Etabs, so we will be only adding the super dead load and live load of course. We have to go back and select previous selection and apply live load. This replace existing loads means within the case of live load replacing loads. If it were any other load value, so it will be replaced to 100 psf now. Okay, we are done with applying the loads on these members. Now we will be applying the loads on perimeter beams. So we will carefully select the perimeter beams only, as we were told in the beginning of this video. We have to apply in the perimeter beams the load of prescribed value, assigning frame loads as distributed in the cladding load case. Since it was 300 pound per foot, which also means 0.3 kip per foot, you may get this conversion easily. Okay. Now in order to apply the wind load, it is an important and careful part here. we have to focus on 3D first. I turn on the local axis of the shell objects. We go to shell assignments and find the local axis option here. Okay. So we will be applying the wind load in x direction, that is wind x. So it is out of plane here as positive. We will rotate the model for other faces of x direction. Here out of plane is positive. So if wind was to be applied from this direction to this direction, one phase has to be applied in negative direction and one phase have to be applied in positive direction in order to make the load apply in single direction. Similarly for this small corner. So for applying the wind load in x direction, we'll go to this elevation first, elevation number A. Select the cladding, assign wind pressure coefficient. Now you are seeing this here windward and leeward option. Here we will assign wind pressure coefficient Cp. Since it is in positive x direction, the load has to be in positive x direction and its local axis is opposed to the direction of x-axis. So we will apply the load of minus 0.8 as pressure coefficient at windward. Okay. While for the opposite side, we will go to the plan and draw the developed elevation which will unfold this view. Draw. Let's call this right side. So this panel is of our use and this panel is of our use, that is perpendicular to the x direction. Again I will go to the developed elevation. So you can see we have selected the planes which are perpendicular to the x-axis. Now we will apply the pressure coefficient to these. Since their local axes are within the direction of positive x-axis, so it will be plus 0.8 and as a leeward. Okay. So we are done with applying the wind load in x direction. Now we will be applying the wind load in y direction in a similar manner. We'll go to the one of elevation. Assign wind pressure coefficient in y direction. Now you see the direction is opposed to the positive y direction of this local axis. So we will apply a minus 0.8 value and a windward load case as okay. I will go back to the plan view, and for this face and this face we have to apply the wind load. We will draw the elevation here as top. Now this phase we have already applied the X direction load. So we are to apply the Y direction wind load here. Now in order to confirm the local axis, we have to rotate it. Now you see this is the positive local axis and it is in the direction of Y axis, which is positive. So we don't need to add a negative sign while applying the wind load. Similar to the X direction load, it is levered. Okay. So now we have completed assigning the wind load. Now we'll turn off the local axis, which we turned on for making our life easier in order to assign the wind load. Importantly, note that we have assigned no diaphragms to this steel structure, as we don't really go for assigning diaphragms when we have a deck system. Now we will be adding the load combinations for the design of steel structure. Design load combinations. Add default design combinations for steel design and composite beam design. As our secondary beams will be treated as composite beams, while the primary beams will be treated as the beams for resisting the moments. We'll go to the plan view and click on any beam. The secondary beam must be going with the composite beam design, while the primary beam must be going with the steel frame design. We'll select all the beam and column which are part of the lateral force resisting system. Primary beam and lateral column select. We will go in design overrides. Now here this SMF and IMF option and other options is our choice, which is based on the code requirements, zone requirements according to seismic load, and detailing requirements according to those code requirements for resisting system of the seismic. So it will also be discussed from detailing point of view in the next videos, just to show you how we can change the framing type from here. Okay, so the next task, the first design part will be to design the composite beam. We'll go to view revise preferences. Shored construction, as you might have studied in theory what is shored and unshored construction. It means that we won't be having any supporting when the slab is just casted, and the steel beam will be supporting the slab. Shear stress, camber, deflection, walking vibration and other factors are all here. The design code is AISC 360. As already discussed, we will be using this code for design. Now we will be running the model. Before running the model, we have to save the model. After the model is completed the analysis part, we can check various things from the model. For example, we have to see the time period of the structure. It is shown here, and the deformed shape on different load cases is also shown here. Okay, so now we will be starting with the design of secondary beams. Since it is an unshored construction, so we have already gone with the theory of that unshored construction and shored construction. So we will be just pressing the composite beam design, or just go here, composite beam design, and start design check of the structure. But before that, check design combinations. The design combinations are already taken here. You can also see what load combinations are important. We'll add these combinations as well for the design of composite beam, as it is having a live load. Okay, so now we'll be starting with the design check of the structure. First of all, we need to select or hide these null areas which were only for the purpose of applying wind load. Now you see the black sections or undesigned part is part of lateral force resisting system. So that was definitely not the part to be designed with the secondary beams. For the secondary beams, we should have assigned the section we made for secondary beams. We'll unlock the model and go to Storey 1. We'll select the deck so we can speed up the selection. Hide selected objects, only select the secondary beam. Go for similar stories. Only select these secondary beams. And assign the section of auto select for secondary beam only. And now rerun the analysis, and then after analysis we go for design. Now once we have done the design part with the using the auto select option, we go to a single section and right click on it. It is giving us a list of acceptable designs. We can also specify the design section of our choice, compression percentage, construction bending, and other parameters. It is also giving us a report format for the design of these members. It is also useful in making the report. Now we go to the plan view. Most of the sections we see here are selected by the software itself as W12/16. It might have found this section as most economical. As you can see, the stress ratio is between 0.9 to 1. You can also go to this option and display design info, beam sections, and other things. the stress ratio here is between 0.9 and 1, that is most economical. In the next step, we have to check verify analysis versus design section. Analysis and design sections differ for 132 composite beams. It is important that we make the sections which were used in analysis by Etabs and the sections which come out of the design procedure as same. Yes, since we are getting W12 with 16 options, so we will rerun the analysis. So Etabs takes this section next time, and then we redesign. Now in the next step, verify analysis versus design sections. Analysis and design sections match for all composite beams, so we are good with it. In the next step, we have to select all these composite beams. For that we will have to go to story 1, that is a master story defined by us. And in the design overrides, we go to make auto select section as null. Turning off auto selection will accept the current design section for the selected beam. It means that this section will be permanently selected for this beam whether in analysis or in design. Press save option. Now it's up to you whether you make this furthermore refining. You may differently assign the sections considering economy, or for ease of construction it will be appropriate to make all the sections of the secondary beams as same if the spans and other loading conditions are same. Now we will be proceeding to design the beams which are part of lateral force resisting system. So let's right click on a single beam, and the design is steel frame design, which is okay. Unlock the model and verify that the section has been assigned for the secondary beams already. Select all the beams which are part of lateral force resisting system. Of course, the perimeter beams and the primary beams within the internal spans. In order to ensure that you didn't miss a beam or mistakenly select any beam which is not primary beam, show selected objects only. So we missed this one beam. Now invert visibility of objects and make this beam as hidden, and again invert visibility of the objects. So now you see you get all the primary beams in this model. Since we have assigned 3 purlins or secondary beams, so we are to go to assign the lateral bracing here. Lateral bracing as user specified, specify uniform bracing from relative distance. Start location, base tab as bottom. Base tab as bottom again. Okay, so we are done with adding the bracing to all of these beams. we'll select all the beams and go to the steel frame design view, revise preferences. The design code is already selected, framing type, seismic category, the method of analysis and design, and other factors you can see here. Similarly, view revise overrides. Okay, so now we'll go with run analysis and then the design. The steel design can also be directly clicked from here, or you may go to start design check. Since the design procedure is following the auto select option, so it is important we check whether the section utilized in analysis and design is same, as it works on stiffness method and the forces are distributed considering the stiffness of the members. Now you see the error or a warning. Analysis and design sections differ for 192 frames. You want to reiterate and design. You can click no and manually do the designing procedure later. Now I know that the beams are being passed on W18 sections and some of them are passing on W14 sections, that is wide flange American sections. If I right click on a single beam, it will tell me the section utilized in analysis was W16 by 77 and the design sections come out to be W18 by 35. So it is important that I rerun the analysis to make the design and analysis section same. And again design the steel. Now if there is much difference from the analysis that it changes the transfer of forces and increased forces to a particular member, then the member would be designed a heavier section, and it is possible that again we'll get the warning that the analysis and design sections are different. Since design is an iterative process, so we can click on yes if we wish to reiterate the design. Reiterating analysis and design takes a bit some of more time. Now similarly we will check again analysis versus design section. Analysis and design sections match for all steel frames. Okay. Now we go to a plan. Usually it's in X we are getting a lesser heavier section. It's all up to you. You may make the sections uniform in size and select a heavier section for all of the members to make construction simple. Verify analysis versus design section is something we did. Now we have to check verify all members passed. All steel members passed the stress capacity check. So we are okay here. What is important in steel design that we go and check PM ratio color values. So the ratio must be less than 0.95 as we have specified here. The green color represents a ratio of stress of 50% to 70% of the capacity, and the stress is of 70% to 90% of the capacity. The member is yellow, and the member which is having a stress value of 90% to 95% is magenta color. I must say that this section, which is of magenta color, is most economical section, which is just having a capacity above or having a little more capacity than the applied factored load. In the next video, we will discuss in detail the design of column, steel plate shear wall, different kinds of those lateral force resistance system, how to design different steel structures, framing system, complexity of different types of structural stabilities, especially in tall buildings. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for much more.